Year 3 Easter Maths, week commencing the 30th of March. Welcome to our first video maths lesson. Today we'll be looking at some Easter maths questions and using different strategies to work them out. Take your time and use whichever method you'd like to have a go. Make sure you pause the video once you've been shown the methods so you have time to work it out. Try your best with these tasks and remember to email me any work you do. If things are too tricky, have a look at the videos posted for Liverpool or Hull classes. Question 1. Margaret buys eggs for an egg hunt. She buys 8 packs. Each pack contains 12 eggs. How many eggs does she buy? So let's have a look at some strategy we can use to answer this question. First strategy is to draw the problem. So here I've started off, I've drawn my first pack with my 12 eggs in, and I've drawn my next one. So far I've done 2 packs. So I'd continue on now and I would draw 6 more packs until I had 8 full packs, and then I'd count up my eggs to work out my answer. For strategy 2, we're going to represent a multiplication using place value counters. So I'll draw a table with 8 rows and then draw a 10 and 2 ones in each row and count up the 10s and 1s until I had my answer. Take a little bit longer this one, but it'll help you to use your place value counters. Strategy 3 is using column multiplication. So I'd make sure that my 8 was below the 2 so that my columns are set up properly. Then I would do 8 times by 2, making sure I carry across any 10s onto the next column. Then I would do 8 times by 1, adding any 10s to your answer. Find that one out. So pause the video here and have a go at our first question. You need to go backwards so you can have a better look at the question. You can do. Choose whichever method will help you to solve this one. Okay, on to question 2 then. So, Jenny is making nest cakes. Each cake needs 4 mini eggs. She uses 60 mini eggs. How many cakes did she make? Let's have a look at it. Once again, we can draw the problem. So I draw my first one, and I count I've got 4. My second one, so I'd have 8. Count on my next one, I've got 12 and 16. And I'd keep going until I finally got to 60. Make sure that you count up as you go along so you don't lose count of how many you've done. Maybe write it down next to your pictures. Our second strategy is grouping. So you need to draw 60 circles. Then you're going to draw a ring or a box around the groups of 4. So first group of 4, next group, and next group. So far I've got 3 groups of 4. I'd keep going until all of those circles had a ring around them and they were in a group of 4. Once I've done that, I count up my groups of 4 to see what my answer is. Now my final strategy is something we've done quite a lot of in lessons, but it's something we need a bit of practice at. So it's using a part-whole model to partition the number into 2 multiples of 4 that will help you to work it out. So we've got our part-whole model. In the top, we're going to put 60 divided by 4, which is a calculation we need to work out. Then I'm going to think about some multiples of 4, so that's numbers that are in the 4 times table, which can go into my 2 parts. So I'm going to use a number that is a multiple of both 4 and 10 to make this easier. For my first one, I'll do 40 divided by 4. Now, to get to 60, I would have to add 20. So I'd also do 20 divided by 4, because 40 add 20 equals 60. If I work out the answers to 40 divided by 4 and 20 divided by 4, I will find my answer to 60 divided by 4 by adding those 2 answers. Once again, pause the video and have a go at working that one out. Question 3. Alex's Easter egg has a mass of 250 grams. Evie's egg has a mass of 159 grams. How much heavier is Alex's egg? My first strategy is to draw a number line. We are finding the difference between those 2 weights. This is a really good way to help us to work this one out. So, firstly, we'll draw a number line and we'll label each end with the 2 weights that we have been given. So, I'm going to work up from 159 up to 250. So my first jump is going to be to the next 10, the next multiple of 10. So I've got from 159, what will be the next 10 after 50 to find my first one. My second jump will be to the next multiple of 100, so from 159, what's the next 100 after 100? And finally, I do my last jump from that 100 up to 250. Once I've done that, I would add those three numbers where my question marks are to find my answer. That's one method we can use. The next one is column subtraction. So once again, we need to be careful with this one to make sure that we have got our columns set up properly. So your 0 and your 9 need to be in line with each other, the 5s need to be in line, and the 2 and the 1 need to be in the same column. Make sure they're not mixed up, because I'll make it really tricky later on. So to start off with, make sure that you exchange if the top digit is smaller than the bottom one. So if the first one, 0, is smaller than 9, we can't do 0 take away 9, so we have to exchange. We've done this lots and lots in class, so hopefully you'll be able to remember how to use that method. Have a go at those. Use whichever strategy you find best and have a go. Question 4. The Easter Bunny's basket holds 50 eggs. How many baskets will he need to hold 650 eggs? First strategy, once again, is to draw a number line. So here's my number line, I've got from 0 to 650. So I'm just going to jump up across my number line until I get to 650. Now, if we know that he holds 50 eggs in each basket, then my jumps will be of 50 each time. So using your 5 times table to help you as well, keep on going until you've got all those jumps up to 650. Okay, your next strategy is to draw the problem. So again, you can draw your different baskets. The first one, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you're drawing the problem, you might draw a basket, and once again, don't forget to label them with the numbers so you don't lose count. So 50, 100, then think about what the next one would be if you're just adding 50. Would one column change, or would 2 columns change? Remember, you're only adding 50, there are no ones. Your final strategy is to simply just count up in 50s. We're all quite good at this, we're quite good at our 5s as well, so that will help us to do this. So my first one would be 0, 50, 100, 150, and I'd keep going from there. Once you've counted up to 650, have a count up and see how many lots of 50 you have used. So far I've done 3, I've done 50, 100, 150. But keep counting up until I got my final answer. Okay. Pause the video now, have a go at this question. Choose whichever method you find easiest. If you have another method you want to try, please feel free to do that too. Question 5. Melody picks 23 daffodils. Jake picks 3 times as many. How many daffodils do they pick altogether? First step. Now, this question has 2 parts. For the first step, we need to multiply 23 by 3. So use column method to do this. So do 3 times by 3, then 2 times by 3. Or you could draw some place value counters to help you do this. So using 3 rows, you would then draw 23 3 times. This would help you to find out what Jake has picked, so you would then know Jake's answer. So once you know Jake's answer, you would then add that number to how many Melody already has to find your answer. So the first part is to multiply to find out how many Jake has. The second part is to add Jake's number to Melody's number to find your answer. Okay, so 2 steps to do for this one. Pause the video here, have a go at those 2 steps to find your answer. Question 6. Hot cross buns are sold in packs of 6. How many packs are needed to serve 120 people? So, strategy 1 is draw the problem. Draw a rectangle with 6 circles inside. Count as you draw and stop when you reach 120. 6, 12, and keep going. Now that might take a little while, so a much quicker strategy will be strategy 2, using our known facts to do some division. So known multiplication facts. So if I know that 12 divided by 6 equals, then that means that 120 divided by 6 is 10 times bigger. Therefore, I can work out 120 divided by 6 just by knowing the fact of 12 divided by 6. Again, we've done this lots in class, so hopefully you'll be able to apply this, have a good go. Just like you know that, say, 7 times by 3 equals 21, therefore 70 times by 3 equals 210. It's just 10 times larger. So have a go, pause the video, and choose whichever method you like to answer this problem. Question 7 is our challenge question. It's our final one. So, the table shows how many children took part in an Easter egg hunt each day. Last year, a total of 1,264 people took part. How many more people took part this year? Saturday, there were 495. Sunday, there were 523. And on Monday, there were 660. So, here we need to do a few steps to solve this one, starting with column addition. So we need to add those 3 values from that table. So let's break it down into 2 additions rather than trying to add all 3 at once. So if we firstly do 495, add 523. So you work that one out. Don't forget to write down any numbers you have to carry onto the next place value column. So if your answer equals more than 10, you'll have to carry that 10 across. That answer then needs to form your next question. So whatever that answer equals, it's that number and 660 to find your next answer. So that tells me how many children took part this year. Well, that's what that number will be. So once you've added those 3 numbers together, that's your final answer for how many children took part this year. Now, that's the first part of our problem. The next bit, we have to do a column subtraction. So using the answer you've just worked out, we're going to complete this subtraction. So that number for how many children took part this year will go over here. And then that number will take away 1,264. Now, because that number is going on top, that tells me that the answer should be more than 1,200. So the answer that you get when you've added 660 should be more than 1,264 because we're taking away that number afterwards. The reason this question is a challenge is because we have got some numbers which are over 1,000. Now, we've mainly been working with hundreds this year. We have looked at thousands a little bit, but once you know the column subtraction, column addition methods, which we've done lots and lots of practice on, it doesn't make a difference if you have got those thousands there. I'm sure you can have a go using your method and apply what you know to answer that question. Okay, so pause the video here and have a go at that one. It should take you a little while because you've got quite a lot to work out. Make sure you've got some paper to write down your notes and have a go on that one. Next are the answers. So please don't carry on if you haven't actually had a go at the questions yet. Don't spoil it for yourself. So, answer to our first question. So, the answer to our first question is 96 eggs. Let's have a look how we got to that answer. I've got 12 times by 8. So I'll do 8 times by 2, which gives me 16. I put my 6 ones in the ones column, and I carry that 110 underneath in the tens column. Then I'll do 8 times by 1, which gives me 8, add that 1, which gives me 9. So there's my answer for that first one. For the next one, Jenny is making nest cakes. So each cake needs 4 mini eggs. She uses 60 mini eggs. How many cakes did she make? Well, the answer is 15 cakes. So how did we get to that answer? So here's my part whole model. I had 60 divided by 4. So I did 40 divided by 4. And I did 20 divided by 4. There were lots of other ways you could have done this. You didn't have to do 40 and 20. You could have partitioned it differently. But using multiples of 10 made it quite easier for us. So 40 divided by 4 is 10. 20 divided by 4 is 5. Add those two together and it's 15. So our next one then, Alex's Easter egg has a mass of 250, Evie's egg has a mass of 159. How much heavier is Alex's egg? So I'm going to do it in my column subtraction. So 250 take away 159. So 0 take away 9, we can't do. So I need to exchange a 10 from the tens column. So I change my 5 into a 4, and I carry that 10 across onto the ones column. Now I've got 10 take away 9. 10 take away 9 is 1. And now on to the next one. So again, can't do 4 take away 5, so I need to exchange. So I cross out my 200, make it 100, and I pop that 100 onto the 4. So I've got 14 take away 5. Now I know 14 take away 5 gives me 9. Then I've got 1 take away 1 is 0, so I don't need to write anything there. My answer is 91 grams. So the Easter Bunny with his eggs in his basket. So I chose to count up. So 0, 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, 400, 450, 500, 550, 600, and 650. Took a little bit of time counting, a little bit of time, but it's not too tricky to do that one. So once you've counted up, then we count how many jumps of 50 we have done. So we've done 13 jumps of 50. So the answer is 13 baskets. So Melody with the daffodils. So how many daffodils did Jake have is the first thing we needed to work out. So Jake's daffodils, we did 3 times 3, which gave us 9, and 3 times 2, which gave us 6. So we know that Jake has 69. Now, 69, add the 23, 9 add 3, gives me 12. So I put my 2 ones down, and I carry the 110 into the tens column. Then I do 6, add 2, add that other 1, which gives me 9. 6 add 2 is 8, add the 1 is 9. My answer is 92 daffodils. Hot cross buns are sold in packs of 6. How many packs are needed to serve 120 people? So I'm using my known multiplication and division factor. So I know that 6 into 12 goes twice. 12 divided by 6 is 2. This means that 120 divided by 6 is 10 times bigger. So 120 divided by 6 is 20. 20 packs are needed. And on to my final one. So our challenge question. So for our first part, we added our first 2 numbers from that table. So 5 add 3 gives us 8. 9 add 2 gives us 11. The ones go down, the 10s are carried across into the 100 column. Then I've got 4 add 5, which is 9. Add the 1, which gives me 10. Again, I write it down with my 10 underneath, and then I can pop that up there. So I've got 1018. 1018, add 660. So that means that I've added then all of those values from that table once I've done this one. So 8 add 0 is 8. 1 add 6 is 7. 0 add 6 is 6. 1 add nothing is 1. So I know that this year there's been 1,678 children. So to work out how many more people took part this year, I'll do 1,678, subtract 1,264. So 8 take 4 is 4, 7 take 6 is 1, 6 take away 2 is 4, and 1 subtract 1 is none. 414 people. Easter holidays next week. I'll see you back here in 2 weeks' time on the 20th of April for a brand new video.
I hope that you had a good go at those math questions. Remember, if it's too tricky, you can always look at what Liverpool or Hull have posted. It's Easter holidays next week, so there'll be 2 weeks where I won't be posting any more math videos, but there will be bits that you can do online. I hope you have a lovely Easter holidays. Bye.